little friend. It's good to see you again. I hope that you're doing well. Well, I know that life can't always be sunshine and rainbows, but I'm certainly happy that some things are going well for you, and I hope that whatever isn't going well is quick to pass. I actually, I know that life can be difficult sometimes, and with your permission, I was actually hoping that I might be able to give you some words of affirmation to remind you that you are capable of getting through whatever life has in store. Would you mind if I did that for you? Alright. Well, first and foremost, I want you to know that you're brave. It's true, you are. I imagine that you've probably heard it said in one way or another, but bravery is doing something even when you're scared to do it, or when you're scared of the consequences that surround doing it, or even scared of what it would take to do it at all. And there's plenty of things every single day that you do, even though they're uncomfortable. Maybe making difficult phone calls, or making hard decisions. All of that takes bravery. And I think it's important that you can realize that, because at the end of the day, you are a brave person. And it's easy to mistake being afraid for being cowardly. But in actuality, everyone's afraid of everything at some point. They're either curious or afraid, and sometimes that curiosity is fueled by fear. So the fact that you're afraid of some things now where you are in life doesn't mean that you're a cowardly person. It means that you have all the more chances to be brave, which shows just how truly brave you are. I also think you're very, very intelligent. It's easy sometimes to think about how forgetful you are at times, or how sometimes basic words or facts elude you, or how certain types of information or certain presentations of it seem to not be compatible with your memory and your understanding of how things work. And it's easy to look at all that and think, I must be dumb. Surely, if I were not that dumb, I wouldn't have as many issues. And it's easy to discount your intelligence because you feel like you're not as smart as you'd like to be. And it's okay to want to be smarter. It's okay to strive for a stronger memory and a deeper understanding of life. That's okay. But it's not healthy to discount the intellect you already have simply because you have issues with understanding or remembering things sometimes. Life is full of stressors and environments and habits that inhibit your ability for your brain to function at times. If you work a lot, you may be very stressed. Or if you don't sleep enough, you may be sleep deprived, or even the chemical buildup in your body, the way that interacts can have adverse effects if you ingest certain things. And some people's brains just work differently entirely. And all of those things are fine because everyone is different. And you're very smart, even if you have trouble understanding, because everyone else does too. And even if you have trouble remembering things, because everyone else does as well. And again, if you want to strive to be better at that, I will support you, because I'd always support you. But I don't want you to discount just how immensely intelligent you are, simply because sometimes that intellect eludes you. I would also like to tell you that you are creative. And I do have a lot to say on this as well. Something that a very, very old friend of mine once told me is that creativity is not solely artistic. Some people look at the art that people can make, whether that's animations or comics or paintings or murals or sand art, sculptures, and so on, and they say that's creativity, and it is, but so is problem solving. So is looking at sciences and uncovering new things about them. So is analysis. So is so much of life. So much of life involves deep amounts of creativity. And just because you aren't good at one version of creativity doesn't mean that you're not a creative person. Doesn't mean that you don't have creativity. It's easy to feel, especially when you lose that initial spark you have and you hit a roadblock of sorts. It's easy to feel like you've lost your creativity. And sometimes it's, again, just like with intelligence, caused by outside sources or being untaken care of. Making sure that you take care of your body as well as your mind is a very important thing. So, I want you to know that you are very creative, even if that creativity fluctuates and even if it doesn't come in the form that you think it should. I also want to tell you that you're strong, because strength is an important part of everyone. And strength, of course, also comes in many forms: physical strength, emotional strength, mental strength, spiritual strength. And all of those strengths can be used in different ways. And I hope that whatever trials you may be facing in the future, you're able to play into those strengths in some way or another. And I want to tell you that it's going to be okay. And if it's not, that's still okay. Because at times I feel it is in the nature of you little folk to feel the need for everything to be under control and everything to be according to plan and happy and full of joy, and that's not always how life is going to be. And that's a good thing, because life would be very boring if everything went according to plan. I mean, you wouldn't have met me if that was the case. I made it a point for a long time to keep myself fairly distant from the affairs of you little folk, as to not spook you or cause any danger. But you found me out here anyways. So I'm glad that life doesn't go according to plan. And if you're ever stressed, that's okay. If you're sad, that's okay. If you're angry, that's okay. Your feelings, just because they aren't happy, aren't inherently bad. And I hope that going forward, you will allow yourself to feel what you feel. If you don't already, which I certainly hope you do. You are a very, very smart person, and I should certainly hope that you know how to safely let yourself feel those emotions. And if you ever don't feel safe feeling those emotions, I hope that you have a support group you can reach out to. You can always turn to me, but I know I won't always be enough. And you're a very, very valuable person. So if you ever need someone to give you advice and help, I hope that you can find someone to reach out to. Which conveniently flows into my next statement, which is that you are valuable. You may be small compared to some things, myself included, but that doesn't mean that you're of any less value than them. And you may not be as proficient in certain skills as other people, or as charismatic in some ways. You may not have the same amount of friends. You may not feel like you're as on top of things. You may not feel like you're where you want to be, and that's all right, because you'll get there eventually. And in the meantime, you don't have any less value than you will, because you are inherently valuable, my friend. And it is easy to think that you would be more valuable if you had a better job or more people you felt connected to or anything of the like. But you wouldn't be more valuable because you yourself are the value, not your accomplishments. Those all come after. You yourself have value. You yourself are important. And I sincerely hope you know that. And if you don't, that's okay. I'll just keep telling you. You are very, very valuable, my friend. And I hope you know that. And I hope you'll keep that in your mind. I don't want to keep talking for too long, because there's only so much I can say without talking in circles. But if I can leave you with a last bit of advice, I realize that I haven't solely been talking about affirmations, but if I can give one last bit of advice, it would be to remind yourself of that value that you have. Because if you only look at the things you want to achieve, then it's easy to feel like you're not valuable. But if you look at the person you want to be, and the way you want to act, and the things that you find important, it's a lot easier to feel like you're doing something. Because it's hard to control what other people do. You can't feasibly control whether someone respects you, or if they take your advice, or if they think you're a good person, or if they like the work you do, or if they think that you have certain characteristics, or so on and so forth. But what you can control is yourself. You can control how you act. You can control how you treat yourself and how you treat others. You can control your habits and your routine. And if you decide, I want to be more confident in myself, you can start working towards that. You can start making strides toward becoming more confident, setting boundaries with others to make yourself feel like you are valuing yourself more, because you are valuing yourself more. You can take steps to fix issues within yourself. And the way I see it is, if you work to improve yourself, the improvements of the rest of your life will follow. Because if you learn to have confidence and set boundaries and be kind and be healthier mentally and so on and so forth, then you will be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve by virtue of people will see how you're holding yourself, and they will want to respect you too. And if they don't, you'll be able to not waste your time on them. So, I hope that helps. I hope that you see yourself as successful. And if you don't, I hope that you see yourself as learning, not failing, learning, because you are not a failure. You are learning. You can only fail if you give up, and you're still here. So you're not a failure, my friend. Anyways, I hope I didn't dampen the mood too much with all of that. I suppose I've been feeling a bit sentimental and appreciative of you. And I had to get it out some way or another. And I thought maybe a big bear hug would be a bit dangerous to your health. You mean so very much to me, my friend. And I hope that you mean a lot to yourself as well. And if you don't yet, I hope that you do in the future. And I hope that you can see yourself the way I see you. And if you ever need me to tell you this kind of thing again, I hope that you'll come back and you'll let me know. Because I'm always happy to remind you that you are important. And you are smart. And you're creative and bold and brave and all those other things. Alright. How about you and I just relax for a bit for now? Now that I've said my piece and we can lighten the mood and just relax together. And if you'd like, you can perhaps read, or we could watch something together, or you could watch it by yourself. You could do something, write something, play something. You can work on whatever you'd like, or not. If you need to rest, let yourself rest. And if you need to sleep, let yourself sleep. And if you just need to relax, or spend some time working on something, I absolutely support that as well. You know what you need, my friend. And if you need anything that I can help with, just let me know.